Welcome back to Sacred Web Connections. I'm your host, Dara Bracamonte. Much love and light to you all. Here are 7 ways to increase your intuition. You can meditate regularly, practice quieting the mind, keep your vibration high, drop into your heart chakra, trust the signs, symbols, and messages, focus on your breathing, and believe. So let's talk about those a little bit. Meditating regularly. When you meditate regularly, it's similar to self-hypnosis, where it helps you release excess information stored in your conscious and unconscious mind. When you are in a meditative state, it can also help you overwrite negative thought patterns and introduce positive thoughts and ideas into your unconscious. This is the perfect time to use daily affirmations, as your unconscious mind is more open to positive suggestions. Regular meditation also helps to keep your bodies, physical, mental, and emotional bodies, in a more balanced and relaxed state. It reduces stress and anxiety, it helps to improve focus, and it helps you to learn to reduce your brain chatter. You know, the hamster wheel of thoughts. For those of us who are working to increase our intuition, it also helps us to raise our energetic frequency vibration and connect to higher vibrational energy such as spirit guides, angels, and loved ones who have crossed over. Quieting the mind. With regular meditation, you are also practicing quieting the mind. The second thing is to practice quieting the mind so you can hear messages from your spirit guides and higher self or soul. Our minds are constantly processing information, from what we see to what we hear, taste, smell, feel, sense, etc. There is always information coming into our brains from the external world, and from our internal world as well. It is full of memories, worries, thoughts, assumptions, beliefs, and anything else our mind can conjure up. One of the hardest things to do is learn to quiet the mind to clear your thoughts for an extended period of time. It took me many years of practice to do this. For many of us, as we lay down or sit to meditate, the brain starts working in overdrive. It's like our egos don't want to let go of control and allow someone or something else to have control. Or even scarier, for nothing or no thing to be in control. Egos have a need to be the story writer. They don't like to give up power and control. I believe ego is one of the main drivers for activity in our brain. The trick is to give your brain and ego something to do to keep it busy enough to get out of the way so you can connect to your intuition and spirit guides. For example, if too many thoughts are floating around your head, you can focus all of your attention on your breathing. Number 3, keeping your vibration high. You can keep your vibration high by continuing to work on healing yourself. If you have a lot of trauma, psychological issues such as depression or anxiety, emotional or physical issues, it is much, much harder to maintain a high vibration. The higher your vibration, the clearer your mind is. The more you are open to universal messages from spirit guides, or your higher self, your soul. You have to do the work. Work with a professional as needed, like a therapist or a psychologist, to work through your psychological and emotional issues. Once you work on healing your past and your bodies, again, physical, mental, and emotional, it'll be much easier to connect to your intuition. Otherwise, there is too much noise, and it'll be hard to discern between messages from spirit and messages from your ego. Messages from your ego are usually a bit more negative, like worry, stress, anxiety, negative self-talk, etc. So you have to work on healing your physical, mental, and emotional bodies in order to connect more with your spiritual body. There is no quick fix or easy button. Sorry to tell you. I've tried, trust me. The easiest way to heal is to do the work. Drop into your heart chakra is the 4th step. So you can actually drop into your heart chakra to connect to your feeling place. Did you guys know that we have 2 brains in our body? Well, we have the one in our head, of course, but also the heart acts as a secondary brain. We connect with the world around us through our ego, our past experiences, our beliefs, our thoughts, our assumptions, our prejudices and judgments. So it makes sense that if we want to connect to the opposite type of energy, high vibrational energy like intuition or spirit guide communication or communication with loved ones who have crossed over, we have to drop into our heart chakra, our feeling and emotional center. That's where we're free from judgments, we're free from our ego, free from the roller coaster of thoughts that plague every moment. Even if your strongest intuitive ability is claircognizance or clear knowing, we get much more information from our intuition when we are in our feeling place. It's the center of our chakras. It's where we're grounded in our actual emotions. Many times, spirit guides and spirit communicate through our feelings, our senses, our emotions, and our memories. Although the memories live in the brain, they are accessed through our heart, where we are reminded of how we felt during that memory. For example, if you think back to a joyous moment in your life, like a graduation or promotion, a birth for sure, or even a wedding, it makes you feel a certain way. If you want to connect with a loved one who has crossed over, you can think about that loved one. Think about a happy or emotional memory. Remember what it felt like to be in their presence. Remember how much love you have for them. Remember the beautiful experiences they brought into your life. When you are feeling that person as if they're still in the room, it's like you're sending out a message to this person asking them to come to you, and they actually are in the room in spirit. Once you're in that feeling place, you can talk to them, and a lot of times they will actually communicate back through your emotions. You might feel like you're being hugged, you might feel a hand on your shoulder, you might feel just surrounded by love, or you might feel like laughing. If they were humorous in life, they're going to be humorous now as well. Or you might feel sad because you miss them dearly. But for these moments, you are actually connecting to your loved one. If you want, you can even ask them for advice and then wait and pay attention to the messages. The messages are so subtle, you may feel like it can't be real, but it is. Next is to trust the signs, symbols, and messages that you get. Spirit communicates in subtle ways. For spirit to communicate, they have to lower their vibration, and we have to raise our vibration so that we're on similar wavelengths. When you can tune into the spirit energy, that's when you can receive communication in the form of thoughts being dropped into your head, or feelings and emotions, or you may even hear spirit talking. However, this is more rare because it takes so much more energy for spirit to communicate with words that are audible to the inner ear, or your energetic ear. It is much easier and faster for spirit to communicate with thoughts, feelings, senses, and signs. The same goes for actually seeing spirit with your physical eyes. It's much easier and faster for a spirit to show themselves to you in your inner vision through your third eye, also known as a place of imagination. Spirit has to build up a lot of energy in order to be able to show themselves in this physical dimension. I believe it takes years for spirit to learn this ability, as well as to have enough energy for them to pull to allow you to see them. That's why it's so hard to capture spirit on film. A lot of times when people believe they've actually physically seen a spirit, they're actually seeing the spirit in their mind's eye, which is visible in the physical world with your eyes open. It's almost like an overlay of an image in your physical reality. So you're not necessarily physically seeing them, you're seeing them in your mind's eye, but it can look the same with your eyes opened. Spirit can more easily show themselves in visions, or even dreams. For example, if you're doing a guided meditation for meeting your spirit guides, you can see your spirit guides in your imagination. You can also see them sometimes behind your eyelids. It's easier if your eyes are closed. Early on, before I was actually able to see them in my mind's eye, I saw them as silhouettes behind my eyelids. I could see the shape of their body, usually from the chest up, and I could see the shape of their hair, their neck, their shoulders, and face, but I wouldn't get a lot of detail. I would be able to sort of sense or feel if they were more male energy or female energy, or sometimes they actually feel like they are genderless, because in the world of energy and source, there really are no genders. A lot of times they will show themselves to you in a way that you are comfortable with. For example, if you have a fear of men due to bad past experiences, your spirit guide may show themselves in the form of a female figure, putting you more at ease. Some people think because they show up in your imagination that this means that what you are seeing is not real. Quite the contrary. Your imagination is the same as your mind's eye, or your inner vision. Number 6 is focusing on your breath. When I talk about ego, I'm not talking about how cocky somebody is. I'm talking about the part of you that experiences the world around you. All of your thoughts, your personality, beliefs, judgments, and past experiences have shaped your ego. It's the human part of your mind. And remember, we are spiritual beings having a human experience. Your ego always wants to be in control. It wants to feel like it holds all the power. So there was something I was actually reminded of recently in a psychic mediumship class hosted by famous medium Lisa Williams. The ego needs something to do. It wants to be part of every experience. It's hard to connect to spirit when your ego doesn't understand it or when it's trying to control the experience. If the ego knows what the goal is, it will then step in to help you attain that goal. In order to get the ego on board, especially in the beginning, you kind of have to give it a job to do. Once your ego is occupied, you can more easily clear your mind and connect to your intuition. You can also use pranic breathing, which also helps to raise your vibration. You can breathe in for 8 seconds, hold that breath for 4 seconds, and then exhale for 8 seconds, and then hold your breath again for 4 seconds. Repeat that as long as is needed to clear your mind. Then you can relax. If thoughts start coming in again, do the breathing exercise again, and as many times as needed to quiet the mind. The ego is the part that's focusing on the breathing. So after practicing this many times, your body, your brain, and your ego will actually become accustomed and it will clear automatically, allowing you to connect more fully to your intuition. Once your mind is cleared, you can ask a question about something you'd like guidance on and wait for the answer. Now, the answer may come right then as a random thought in your mind, and it doesn't sound like something you would normally think or say. Or it can come later in a form of a symbol, a vision, or an image in your mind. It could be a feeling, emotion, or a sense, or it could actually be a physical sign such as a billboard or store sign. Could be music. A person may come to you with a message, not knowing that they're actually doing so. You have to be aware of the world around you. Don't specifically look for signs, but when you do see one, acknowledge that it is coming from your spirit guides or your higher self or loved ones on the other side. The more often you acknowledge those signs, the more signs will come. And last but not least is believe. It's nearly impossible to experience your intuition if you don't believe in intuition or if you don't believe in your own ability to connect to your intuition. The universe responds to your thoughts, your feelings, your actions, and your beliefs. I think back to one of my favorite quotes, whether you think you can or you think you can't, you're right, by Henry Ford. It's so true. If you think you cannot achieve something, you can't, because every part of your being believes you can't, and the universe will mirror back to you that belief. You will subconsciously put blocks up to reach the goal that you think you cannot reach. If you really want to connect to your psychic and intuitive abilities, but you don't believe it's possible, it's never going to happen until you change your beliefs. So believe. Believe in yourself. Know that you are worthy of God's or universe's gifts just like everybody else. Believe that you are unconditionally loved by God, universe, source, whatever you want to call it, and that you are the only one that can hold yourself back from connecting to your intuition. For a long time, I actually felt unworthy. I didn't think there was any way God or the universe would bless me with such gifts, because what did I do to deserve it? After much healing and work, I realized every single being is worthy of God's love. Every single being is worthy of spiritual gifts and talents and skills. We are inherently born with the ability to connect to our spiritual gifts. Some people just have to work a little bit harder than others. Over time, though, society and authority figures in our life start shaping our beliefs and making us feel unworthy or not special enough, which is absolute bullshit. You are worthy. You are deserving. Why? Well, because you're a child of God. You are a part of God. No one is excluded from God's love and gifts. Another quote I love is, change the way you look at things and the things you look at will change. This is so true. For example, if you're always saying things like, I'm always sick, or man, I have the worst luck in the world, then your external world can only be a mirror to you and show you what you believe about yourself. If you think that, then of course you will always be sick. Not because you have a bad immune system, but because of the thoughts you have about yourself. If you feel like you always have bad luck, you will. You are the cause of your sicknesses and bad luck, not the universe. The universe is just a mirror. The universe is unbiased. It mirrors your energy back to you. So change your mind, change your thoughts, and you will change your reality. Believe in yourself, even if no one else does. The most important relationship you have is with yourself. And honestly, other people's beliefs and opinions of you are their business, not yours. Don't take others' beliefs about you on as your own. If you have any questions, you can always reach out to me via TikTok messages or my Facebook page, which is Sacred Resonance LLC. That's Sacred, RESONANCE LLC. Thank you so much for listening, and as always, sending much love and light your way.